What are the key considerations to ensure that your company is managing its corporate reporting process to be both efficient and effective? I'm joined by Erwin Groenendal, co-founder and product evangelist at Tangelo, to discuss how Tangelo can uniquely support UK-listed companies on this journey. This is Marketplace Matters. Erwin, thank you so much for joining me at the London Stock Exchange.
Well, it's great being here. Thanks, Emma.
So for those who don't know Tangelo yet, what do you do and what value do you bring to corporates?
Yeah, so Tangelo is a smart platform, end-to-end platform for producing corporate reports, making it possible for teams to fully control their process for creating annual reports, sustainability reports, and other corporate disclosures. The 5 main benefits we deliver is unmatched productivity in-house through automated typesetting, control over your numbers through flexible data integration, fully integrated tagging to easily produce your ESEF, CSRD and UK single electronic format filing, enterprise-level collaboration through structured review and control, and single-source multi-channel publishing to optimize the online engagement with your stakeholders.
Great. And you recently rebranded with a brand new logo and tagline, Corporate Reporting Transformed, as well as a brand new website. What does that transformation actually look like in practice?
Well, about 15 years ago, we set out with a vision to improve the traditional fragmented process for creating corporate reports that many teams were stuck with version chaos, late formatting rounds, disconnected tools. And it proved to be even more urgent today with more contributors with less time. So our mission is to deliver the most efficient, smartest end-to-end corporate reporting process for teams, allowing them to seamlessly collaborate, publish to multiple channels, and without compromising design quality. So we built our platform around 5 core steps: build, connect, tag, review, and publish. Each one designed to eliminate friction and deliver control. And today, that process is in use by many large companies, trusted by large companies across markets and industries. So we've helped them transform their corporate reporting process.
So from your experience, what have you seen that potentially some of the biggest gaps that UK-listed companies are managing their corporate reporting process today?
Yeah, so we still see companies in the UK use the traditional process, so fully manual, using office tools in the beginning, and then have the agency typeset the report in InDesign, which is a time-consuming, frustrating process. We do see a lot of companies in the UK sort of use like an upgraded version of that process, where it's office tools, InDesign, and then InCopy. This is pitched as a solution to the problems around the traditional process, but it's really a band-aid only. It may have helped in the time where it was all about controlling the print process, but with today's requirements for online collaboration, it doesn't cut it anymore. The biggest issues with that approach is around build. So teams are not empowered to build the report. They have to wait until the agency has created the report. And from that point, they cannot amend the report, so they cannot make real changes. They can only make simple text edits in the report. In the connecting step, they have to trust the agency to synchronize the numbers in the report. And finally, on the review part, the tools that they use for reviewing and commenting are really disconnected, and for change tracking as well, disconnected from that core process. So it really doesn't cut it anymore. Also looking at the situation with more contributors and with less time.
Yeah. What about tagging and all this? How are companies typically handling that, and what issues have you seen so far?
Yeah, so the tagging in both in that traditional process but also in the upgraded process is usually done using a bolted-on tool. Because the tools that we talked about, they're not meant for doing something like creating the digital report, the electronic version. Those processes are built around like producing a print production. So they use a bolt-on tool that doesn't really give them control over the process. They often like have to rely on a third party even, or the provider of that bolt-on tool to do certain things before they can actually do the tagging themselves. So they can't manage the tagging themselves really.
And how do you see that approach actually evolving? You know, what's likely to drive some of that change?
Yeah, so that approach is might seem okay today, and it's because the electronic report is not, there's no mandatory assurance on that digital report, on the electronic report. And also the FCA, to which they file at the report in that format, they don't check the quality of the tagging. They only look at they only do some technical validations. So that's still a valid approach. It seems to be a valid approach today. But there was a recent consultation of the market by the FRC, the Financial Reporting Council, in which they are suggesting to introduce mandatory assurance, but also detailed tagging. It means a lot more information would need to be tagged. And especially around block tagging also in the report, like it's a very cumbersome way that you have to do this with these bolted on tools. But that likely mandatory assurance will really be the game changer here, meaning that companies will need to take control over that part. They need to be able to make changes to the tagging on the spot and not rely on using these bolted-on tools or external service providers.
And considering that, what should companies be doing to really prepare?
Yeah, I think it's important to integrate the tagging into their main process, into the core process of creating the report. Again, with the mandatory assurance, there's a real need to be able to do this and make it part of the process itself. Also looking at sustainability reporting. So from the 1st of January 2026, fiscal year starting 1st of January 2026, the UK Sustainability Disclosure Standards will be mandatory to use in the annual report. Those are based on the ISSB standards, and the ISSB standards also include a taxonomy for tagging. And in that same discussion paper, in that same consultation of the market, it's also suggested to, in addition to tagging the financial data in the report, tag the sustainability disclosures as well. So that approach will become even more unworkable.
Yeah. And finally, how does Tangelo uniquely support UK-listed companies on that journey?
Yeah, so we have the fully integrated tagging functionality on the platform. So that's covered. It allows you to do the tagging yourself. You're not dependent on third parties or service providers. You can manage your extensions, for example, in the platform as well. So we have that covered, but looking at where like the other approaches are lagging, and even that upgraded approach is lacking in like true, effective, efficient collaboration between the teams. That's what we provide with the platform. So all the teams can collaborate, have control over their parts of the annual report, and again, without compromising the design quality. They can output the print-ready PDF, the website version, and the electronic version.
Well, Erwin, thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Emma. It was great being here.
For more information about Tangelo, you can visit their marketplace profile page on the London Stock Exchange Issuer Services platform. Thank you so much for watching.